Welcome back to Dad Puzzles. Today's guest is a proof that you don't have to choose between legacy and success. You can build both. Sayam Ibrahim isn't just a real estate powerhouse with over 250 million in deals. He's a national voice for wealth building in our communities, from Wall Street burnout to becoming the co-host of Wealth Wednesdays alongside Angela Yee. And Sayam's journey is about more than money. It's about meaning, you know. Um, so in this episode, I hope to dive into what it really takes to walk away from the job that you hate, and how family can fuel your rise, and also the mindset behind flipping not just houses but your entire future. So, my friends, lean in, and this is a masterclass you will want to revisit again and again. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that amazing introduction.
Thank you, sir. I had to read, because I didn't want to, I didn't want to mess up anything,
For sure.
Yes,
I understand.
yes, yes, sir. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself for people that do not know you, my friend?
Yeah, look, I've been in real estate now for 15 years, but I wasn't always a real estate investor, right? I started out in the Lower East Side of New York City as a kid. I'm a son to two immigrant parents. My mother's from the Dominican Republic and my father's from Ethiopia. And they both came to this country with not a lot of money, but they came with drive and determination and wanted to build something great. So, my dad was a yellow cab driver in New York City for 21 years. My mother was a hairstylist, and they worked really hard to provide us, a great life. I remember when I was growing up, they instead of going out and playing basketball, they said read a book and then you can go out and play. All right, and so at the time I was mad, I hated them, but I realize now because it allowed me to get a scholarship to Georgetown University and then eventually work on Wall Street, which on paper I was successful, but inside I was absolutely miserable. I was working 80 plus, sometimes 100-hour plus weeks. I made great money on paper, but I had no time to spend it. It all came down to this one time where I wanted to go out and get married to my beautiful wife, and my boss asked me to reschedule my wedding. And so when they did that, I canceled. I quit cold turkey, not knowing what I was going to do next, and eventually found real estate, which I've been doing for the past 15 years. So I'm a husband to a beautiful wife. I'm a father to two beautiful little daughters that are 12 and 13 years old. And I'm an all-around family man. So business and family is my life.
Oh, beautiful. Well, you're in the right place, my friend. This is we value families here, and we're looking into legacy as well. So because everything that we do at in our best way possible, we're impacting our kids and stuff. So this is beautiful, my friend. Awesome, awesome. So can you tell us a little bit, what it takes for somebody to, that is thinking to really quit their job that they hate, what it takes to really leave that behind and move on into the next, like
Absolutely.
yes,
When
sir.
I made a decision to leave Wall Street, right, everyone told me I was crazy, right? They told me I was throwing everything away. Every opportunity of becoming a millionaire was being thrown away because, I was always taught you go to school, you get the great job, you stay there for many years, and you eventually become successful. But I just couldn't see myself living the next 20, 30 years like that, being a slave to corporate America and having someone else tell me when or when I cannot spend time with my loved ones. So, I had the conversation with my fiance at the time. I spoke to my family, and my wife or my fiance at the time had a stable job, right? So she was the rock that allowed me to quit and go in all in for my dreams. Right, so having a good support system, having a good spouse, having a good foundation in your family allows you to go in, or allowed me to go in and take a leap of faith and bet on myself.
Oh man, that's beautiful. And so I'm glad that you had that support, and this is beautiful, because a lot of times, if you do not have that, it's very hard to really make that move.
I agree. I agree. It
Absolutely.
was scary. It was scary because I didn't know what was going to come next. When I quit, I didn't immediately found real estate. I started flipping cars,
Mm.
selling cars, not knowing what I really wanted to do, and then eventually found a property in Newark, New Jersey that was an ugly house surrounded by pretty houses. And my brother said, "Hey, we need to buy this thing. We could flip it." And we had no system, and by luck, we made $60,000 in our first flip, and then we were addicted to this game ever since. All right, and just kept using that money to scale and grow our business.
Oh, amazing. So, man, this is beautiful. And So now we've seen the role of the family, how it really helped you to make that move as well. Is there, was there anything that really was like, okay, this is the last push? What made you leave the Wall Street?
Yeah.
Besides,
So at the time, I told you I wanted to get married, and look, Wall Street's tough, right? It can be very stressful, long hours, intense. You can get cursed out on a daily basis, right? And it's the culture; it's assumed to be okay. And I give my boss 3 months notice that I wanted to get married, and I told him I was going to take 2 weeks off because I was planning on going on a honeymoon. He said, sure, sure, no problem. When it came time to it, literally the day before I was going to leave, I said, hey, remember, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. And he said, hey, we're really busy right now. Do you think you can reschedule that? And so I took a step back and I was like, what? I'm not trying to get married every single year of my life. This is supposed to be a one and done scenario if it all works out. And it was that moment that it was a pivotal time for me where I was like, I got to make a decision. Is this how I want to spend the next 20, 30 years of my life? I can remember my boss having a call in to miss his kid's birthday parties because he had a client meeting that he had to go to. How many times is your kid going to turn 12? Only once, right? So why would you sacrifice what's the most important, family, in my opinion, to build someone else's dream, right? Someone else, to make someone else rich. So it was that point in time where I quit cold turkey, not knowing what I was going to do, and I said, I'm going to go ahead and bet on myself. So I said, this is the last time that I was going to let another man decide when I cannot spend time with the people that I love.
beautiful, my friend. That's a great belief, and that's one of our main belief here. Dad puzzles, because we want to create the freedom, because we've been
Absolutely.
talking with dads and moms, about just how to be better, with between themselves and between us and our kids. But then most of the time it does, it goes this way, it goes the other way. Like it comes in this way, it goes the other way, because the reality is people are suffering. Like in terms of like the finances and stuff like that. So the financial freedom is the best thing possible. So I'm
Agreed.
happy that
Absolutely.
you're doing that. And for any, do you have any other tactical advice for dads? Let's say that are thinking, okay, so you know what, I can make this move. I'm going to have the support with family and stuff. What else do they need to keep in mind? Along that struggle, because we know that entrepreneurship is not easy.
Absolutely. Look, I'm a big believer in real estate. That's how I build my wealth, right? And built my name. It's through real estate investing. And so in my Wealth Wins real estate community, in my Hero Homes University community, I just tell people that you need to go and be on the side of ownership, right? Regardless of what your finances look like, regardless of what your credits look like, there's programs out there to help you buy real estate. And by buying real estate, you inevitably start setting up your future, because guess what? Real estate tends to appreciate over time. Real estate can produce cash flow. Real estate can give you depreciation, so you keep more of your income in your pocket as opposed to paying it out, which allows you to accumulate wealth and financial freedom even faster. So I think that for anyone that's on the fence about going to entrepreneurship, or just building a better future for themselves, they should really consider investing and owning real estate. And if you own a real estate property that covers itself and hopefully produces some premium, and just hold it for 5 years, 10 years, you'll see that real estate tends to double on average every 10 years, sometimes even quicker in certain markets. So just by doing that, you'll start accumulating wealth and setting your family's future in the right path.
Oh, amazing, my friend. You know, and wow, yeah, because a lot of times, people. This is one of the biggest thing. People when the most of the people that are trying to join my program, they say, you know what, Suleiman, I've been wanting to do something, but I still don't. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, because you have people in different backgrounds. People coming, whether like they were in the army, or people, they're coming from carpentry, all kinds of like people in healthcare and stuff. So they want to find out what's their goal, what's the best way possible for them to go forward. So thankfully, I have a questionnaire and stuff like that that helps them to find out what they like and what they can be more impactful, and whether they have customers. Because if you choose something and you don't have customers, it will be just another online
It's a hobby.
creator, just talking nothing, right?
Yeah, it's just a hobby at that point in time.
Absolutely, yes, and very expensive hobby as well. Because I did it for 4 years without any directions. You know how sometimes we as men, or like whatever field you're into, you always have this thing. Oh, I can do this. Oh, this is pretty easy. So you keep doing, but then you're going the wrong direction, and it's expensive. So I really I encourage people to to look out and follow, and learn from the greats, like yourself, and follow, learn to other communities, like whether it's my community or other communities in entrepreneurship. They have been there. They have these frameworks so that you don't make, like costly mistakes. And besides the money, your time, you're wasting your time doing something that is not going to be fruitful. Is not a
Absolutely.
good thing.
I'm a big believer that if you want to do anything, find someone that's mastered what you're doing. It doesn't have to be me. It could be anyone that you jive with, that you synchronize with, right? And follow
Hmm.
them, right? There's no reason to reinvent the path when there's already been a proven path that's been successful. So follow them, latch on to them, learn as much as possible from them. Find someone that's doing what you want to do, and literally follow their footsteps, and you will see similar results as well.
Wow, this is amazing. So, so as a father, what do you wish that you knew now as a father, you know, based on your experience, as a businessman, like what is something that you're taking forward from your experiences into the family, stuff as a father? What is like one particular thing that is helping you so far to be
Yeah.
successful in family?
Absolutely. Look, I think just breaking away and actually spending time with your kids, right? And actually
Hmm.
spending time with your family. So
Right.
one thing that we've done over the last couple of years is once a month, me and my daughters will go on a camping trip, just us, no mom, just me and my two kids,
Yeah.
and it's usually some place that has no cell service. So I'm dialed in and just hearing about what they want to talk about, spending time with them, and in all honesty, that's the best time that I ever spend, right? It's
Right.
the best weekends, the best time with them, and they love it, and they talk
Right.
to their friends about it. So I think this is exactly what I'm talking about, though, right?
Right.
Spending time for them, devoting time for them. They grow
Oh,
up. I mean, it just
yes.
feels like just yesterday I was holding them in my hands and they were small. Now they're 12
Hmm.
and 13 years old, becoming teenagers in middle school, right?
Right.
So spending time to really focus on them and help them in their development.
Hmm.
That's one thing I wish I started earlier and really devoted doing this earlier. We do it now, but I wish I did it throughout their entire life. That's one. And then the second thing is, whatever you're doing, teach them what you're doing, right?
Hmm.
Let them learn earlier on. So I do real estate, and I teach them real estate since they were kids. I bring them into homes to look at homes with me. I'd have them, meeting contractors with me. We do a round table at our dinner table where I ask them about real estate from stuff that they hear us talking about, and you'd be surprised how much they absorb and actually know. And by doing that, you jumpstart their path to success because they're not starting this education in their 20s or 30s like many of us had to do, right? And teach ourselves the hard way. They're learning early on, which means they're going to be better at it, more proficient at it, and they're going to have success earlier on.
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate, that's a great insight. And it's one of those things that if we're gone, they will always remember that. And even if they're not going to be doing exactly that, they can always use that motivation and that work
Absolutely.
ethic that you demonstrate to them and become more
Absolutely.
successful.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100% on that.
Thank you, my friend. And I guess in that part, is a call to action for us as parents to really be the best, at what we are doing.
Absolutely.
Because you know if we demonstrate poor examples, guess what? Our kids are gonna be doing that and probably worse.
I agree.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. So the mindset shift, my friend, that you had before making the deals, uh, before the podcast, before the spotlight. Um, I'm so happy that you shared that. Because you know, if people they keep accepting the poor realities, it's not going to help them in the end. You know,
I
so I'm
agree.
happy that you share that so that parents can be more aware that, oh, you know what, there is a possibility that there is something out there that is much better than what I have at that moment, like at this moment. But we're not implying that quit your job and you don't have any, like a second option.
Sure.
Maintain what you have, trying to build the other options as you go. This is the
Absolutely.
most realistic advice I can share, based on
What's
experience.
What's one of the best things about real estate investing is that
Right.
you can do it as a side hustle while you're still at your job and start building up passive income. You can flip a property on the side while you're still working at your job and start building up a cash base. It's not all or none. It's not I do this and I can't do that. You can do it to supplement whatever you're doing, whether you're starting your own business, working at your job, whatever it may be. So it's the best way to build financial freedom. So you have to figure out what your number is. If your number is $5,000 a month so that you can quit your job and fire your boss, all right? And if the average cash flow per property in your market is $500 a property, that's 10 properties. So let's start buying the first one today, all right? Using that to buy the second one, and over the next 2 or 3 years, you have your 10 properties at $5,000 a month, and now you don't need to clock into that job to pay your living expenses. So it's great. It's a great way to build income and build freedom on the side while still doing your day-to-day that you're doing now.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Because some people, I don't know, maybe they're in a situation where they might not think right. I remember making this mistake when I was newly here in the U.S. and I was working and also at the school. So I'm doing multiple things. Like I have work at home, work at after school, and then the work at school. Like at school, there's a work as well. That's where I was earning my cash, and then this other work outside school was helping me with other things, and I was fed up with it, and I quit without getting the next job. So it was not a good move. This was when I was fairly young and new. So since then, I always advise people because I can see some people making that kind of mistake. So I'm glad that you shared. It's good to choose, jobs like this where you have this option to continue what you're doing, but also you're intentionally investing, into
Absolutely,
the.
you're investing for yourself at the
Yes,
same
sir.
time.
My friend. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you for not sharing just strategies and but you're sharing your soul. Like the story, what happened, and with your family as a family man. This is beautiful, my brother.
It's my pleasure. Look, for everyone that's in a job, if they hate their job, if they hate what they're doing, right, it's time to start investing in yourself. It's time to start being on the other side of the equation and owning stuff as opposed to having others owning and continuing to rent. When you rent, you're not building wealth. When you rent, you're helping somebody else be rich. And the truth of the matter is your 9 to 5, your job is building someone else's dream and making them rich, not you. So let's start investing in something that's going to build our family's future and build financial independence for our family, our kids, and then so on and so forth that we can pass down. And I'm a big believer that real estate investment is the best way to do that. And that's what I teach. Right. So if you mind, I can share with your community how they can reach me.
Please,
And
absolutely, please. Yes, that was my next. Yes, sir.
perfect. So, look, you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram tag is I am dot or period Sayam, dot Sayam, Sayam. I'm also on YouTube, right, at Professor Sayam. And have a free community where we talk about real estate investing. We offer support for people and we show them strategies and classes on how they can get involved. And it's on school. So I'll share the link with you when we get off this call, so you can share the link with everyone in your entire audience. And I invite them all to come and start investing in real estate, and let's support each other. We'll go way farther together. So I heard a quote one time that if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go
Right.
together in a group, right? And that's exactly our motto in our Wealth Wednesdays real estate community.
My friend, thank you. So please, dads, give like just parents, moms and dads, give him a follow, and I'll be sharing all the links that he's mentioned, and and one thing that I can really like sum up in this talk is that we have something more important to flip, not only the properties, our perspective, and you have done that today. You have shared with us, and make sure that we really take action. And for every dad out there that is stuck in this, like in this, like circle, not sure what's going on, there is a way out. There is a way out, and you have hear his story, and his story proves that it's definitely possible. Guys, thank you. Go ahead, and subscribe to that puzzles. We have a community, school community as well, and we'll be sharing that information about Siam in our community, and our folks, they're gonna join his community, and we hope him to like do the same, so we can benefit from his wisdom, in our community as well.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah.